And as you know, Alex, as a professional, if you or I were on there, we would have cut up Mr. Matthews into small pieces. But this gentleman used to be a good gentleman, and I just think he was really taken aback by the onslaught. And I see that on CNBC. It's used very often against people like Peter Schiff, et cetera, to just make them look absolutely terrible. But the concept is fantastic. The leadership, of course, is without peer, and it's going to work. It's going to work very good. And it's something that you and I have talked about. We need them, law enforcement, our military, to protect the people, not to do what the government says they want them to do to the people. And we've said on this program that, at least I have, that if it gets nasty, we go to the military and say, hey, we're going to help you, but you got to follow, your oath, and you got to follow what you should do, and not false or illegal orders. And I think, in a nutshell, that's what they're trying to do with this organization. And it is, Alex, you are absolutely right. They are terrified, because what's going to happen is anybody who understands what they're trying to say is going to want to join them and say, yes, we want to be with you as well in an auxiliary way. We're not law enforcement, but we're going to help you.
And that's already happening. And then the people get together instead of dividing the people from the police and military. We come together. And my next point is, I don't want to preach at Rhodes, because he's a scholar. He really knows the Constitution, top lawyer from Harvard, veteran. But he was being gentlemanly. The first thing I would have said when they were cutting me off is, Matthews, you got me here for a prop. You're afraid to let me speak. How dare you say there's not a threat from the military against the people when they're under bad leadership? There is. The Bill of Rights and Constitution is meant to protect us, but they wouldn't let him talk. And then I would have added, what about Waco? What about Kent State? I mean, I would have just hit him with that. I would have pointed out to Southern Poverty Law Center, hey, how come the internal FBI files that have now been ordered released by a federal judge 2 years ago report you guys were running Elohim City and Tim McVeigh? How about you little bastard tell us what Southern Poverty Law Center really does? But again, he was a gentleman, and that's why they don't have me on Chris Matthews. That's why, though, I've taken over his TV show twice with a bullhorn, even though they tried to beat me up. It's on video in the Obama Deception Extras. And that's why Luke Radowski's taking it over. And that's why anytime that bastard's outside, we're going to go with bullhorns and take his TV show over. He is a fraud. He gets people on, he turns their microphones down, and then he never lets them even speak. Chris Matthews is a degenerate.
That says it all.
I'm sorry, I'm just so sick of these people. No one, Southern Poverty Law Center and OKC, it's just, they're such bastards. They are so evil. I'm sorry, go ahead. No, you're absolutely right. And they keep on going after people and people who haven't done anything. And, they get plenty of funding. And, of course, the leader of the pack there enriches himself. I forget what his name is. But he's been around for a long time. What is it? Morris Sleaze. Morris Dees. Yeah, that's right. And I think he started that thing in the late 60s. And the first ones they went after were the Klan, and understandably so. But that was easy pickings. Today, now you've got some upright group run by a Ron Paul staffer that just says we're not going to violate the Constitution. And you'd think Stuart Rhodes was calling for nuking the Capitol or something. That's right. And that's what they want you to believe. And, of course, I'm surprised they didn't have a tinfoil hat for him there. But that's what we can expect. And that's why it's so important that everybody who's listening to this program, tell everybody you know about Alex and GC and get everybody to listen, to open their minds up. You don't have to have 150 IQ. You can have an 80. We want you to understand what's being done to you and who's doing it. Because this isn't just a regular tyranny. This is a really scientific, nasty group of control freak eugenicists who write textbooks for the government about how they're poisoning our water supply, White House science czar, eco-science. I mean, These people are so evil, I can't even get my brain wrapped around it, Bob.
Well, after 50 years, I have, and it's a trench warfare all the way, and I often look back and say, how did I ever survive all that? And I guess it takes a certain kind of personality to do what I've done. And the same as with A. G. Edward Griffith and Gary Allen and our friend who just died, Alan Stang, and Anthony Hilder, and all of us who started out in the 60s when, the kids were marching up and down the streets and smoking dope and jumping rope. We were trying to tell people what we're telling them now then, and boy, was it a hard sell. In fact, you know what we used to do? We used to go into the TV programs, and we used to pack them, and a lot of them came out of Hollywood, like Joe Pine, and we packed the audience, and they would always wonder, well, how did we lose control of the program? Well, we were just a little bit smarter than they were.
Absolutely, and the work you and others did, we stand on your shoulders today as others will stand on my shoulders. This is a long fight, as G. Edward Griffin points out in Fall of the Republic. This is the long view of history, and it's going to take time to change this. It's not going to be instant. And any politician that tells you they've got a solution for instant fixes, number one, they're not trying to fix anything. Number two, there are no instant fixes. The closest thing to an instant fix is auditing and then abolishing the Fed and arresting the bankers. But they've created such a corrupt system so they can control things that it's going to be one hell of a fight.
Well, you're right, and that's why it's important as well to get rid of as many incumbents as we can out of the House of Representatives and the Senate in this next election. It's so important because no matter how bad the new person is, he can't be as bad as what's been in there. And it's going to take at least 6 months or so for these people to become corrupt who are going in, and all of them won't become corrupt when they go there, because we're going to get a different kind of person, because they're going to be elected, because they probably won't be corrupted.
Well, even if they are corrupt, they've got to make the connections. The more evil people above them have to learn to trust them. They have to learn to get even more bold and more evil. And so, yeah, we want greenhorns in there. We want gridlock. We want this government to come to a standstill. Let's take calls here. John in New York, you're on the air with Bob Chapman. Go ahead.
How's it going, guys? Just wanted to congratulate you on your new film. Just 2 quick points. The YouTube, I think, is doing something fraudulent. I actually went on there to check out the new film, and it had said in the comments that the person 5 hours earlier was view number 309, and it turns out that I was view number 309 as well. So I thought there was...
No. There's some Google admits that owns YouTube. They manipulate numbers and censor, and we've caught them, and we've gotten internal emails from them. But the way the YouTube view counts work is they have CDNs, content distribution servers. So when a video's first up, it's only on a few servers. Then when it becomes popular, they distribute it to thousands of servers, and there's about a 6 to 10 hour lag before it jumps. It stops at 309. For some reason, 306, 309. Then 10 hours later, it jumps to 100,000. Also with Fall of the Republic, it's everywhere now. There are thousands of people that have uploaded it to YouTube. So there's 100,000 views here, 30,000 views there, 20,000 views here, 5,000 views there. Later, we'll find a high-quality res one online. We really haven't yet. They all look horrible. We'll link to that for everybody, and it'll go to 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, 5 million, 10 million, 20 million. That's what'll happen. But right now, it's on the BitTorrents. It's everywhere. The best place to watch it, pay 15 cents and fund us, is prisonplanet.tv. Burn the high-quality copies, download them, stream them, whatever. Plus, your 2.5 hours time is worth it for yourself to see something clear, or get the DVD. But stay there, I'll come back to you. But yes, we've seen a lot of videos I've done where Google will just ban them and knock them off, or they'll freeze the counter. And we've seen this with internal Google counters before, back when they had Google Video, and you could see in your own account, you would have gotten 1 million views in one day. You should be number 1, but you wouldn't even be in the top 100. So they do manipulate. Believe me, I've studied them. I know how they do it. This is Alex Jones, and I want to tell you all about Ecola Blue, the state-of-the-art atmospheric water generators that produces purified drinking water right from the humidity in the air you breathe. No, this isn't science fiction. It's very real. I know. I use one every day in my own home, and it's available right now to you. Clean, great-tasting water without all the pollutants. Make the decision today to claim your own water independence by ordering your own Ecola Blue atmospheric water generator for your home or business, just like I did. Their best seller, the Ecola Blue 28, produces up to 7 gallons of water every day and is easy to use and economical. This system is free of chemicals and uses a multi-stage filtration system, including reverse osmosis, carbon filters, and ultraviolet lights. Generate your own pure water right from the humidity in the air by calling Ecola Blue at 1-800-691-6043. That's 1-800-691-6043. Or visit Ecola Blue on the web at ECOLOBLUE.com today.